morning to all of you. Hey, I've been looking at your comments on Discord, and I'm totally impressed because you guys are nailing it. That, the Bible is not just one book. There's all these books in the Bible. And so that's one of the things I think is really super interesting to talk about is some of the books are like history components. Some of the books are story. Some of the books are poetry. Some of the books are imagery. There's all sorts of components. So I'm going to give you a list of possibilities, and you can choose one. Okay, you don't have to do them all. Maybe I'll put it here so you can see it better. But you can choose one out of that list. And you don't have to read it verbatim, every word. You can sort of glance at it and look at those chapters that are referenced. So the book is underlined. The chapters are arranged. And look at that and just kind of get a sense of answering those three questions of what kind of writing is this? Maybe it's one of those types I just mentioned. And what basically happens in it. And then how does it make you feel? Because some of those books are written to sort of evoke a feeling, to cause a feeling in you. So I'll be curious to hear what your thoughts are. So just, jot down which one you're going to do on the app so we can spread them out. You can do more than one if you have time and if you feel like it. And if you don't have time, that's okay too. It's just sort of a fun activity. It's a fun way to get a sense of how diverse this Bible is. It's got some fun stories, some interesting stuff in there. So take a look. But here's some possibilities for you. And I'll put this on Discord as well. All right. And then the other thing is the idea of, okay, Lutherans don't take the Bible literally. What's that about? Is that mind-blowing to you? That there are many times that Lutherans will read part of the Bible and say, okay, this we don't think is possible. We don't think this is literally accurate. The creation of the world in 7 days would certainly be an example, okay? So it's like, do Lutherans believe the world was created in 7 days? Or do Lutherans believe, okay, we understand sort of the concept of what a day is. It's like a fixed set amount of time. Maybe the world was created in 7 stages, not necessarily a 24-hour literal day. Maybe there was an evolution of time where this occurred. And it's interesting to think about how does that impact how you feel about God or how you feel about the Bible. Do you have to take every single piece literally in order to believe that Jesus was raised from the dead, resurrected, and ascended? We certainly take that part literally. But do you have to take all of it literally to believe that part? So interesting things for you all to think about, okay? So I love that you're really looking at this with some depth. And I love that you're realizing that different biblical authors wrote with different ideas and agendas in mind. One of the things in the Bible that's written about is Noah and the flood. And that writing about the flood was super common during this time period of all these historical writings of this time period wrote about this huge flood that was over some region of the earth. And so did that story come in the Bible as a way of explaining this historical flooding event that happened, of trying to understand where God was in that? So it is interesting that different authors wrote with different agendas. Some of the gospel writers wrote with an emphasis on helping the poor, or with an emphasis on healing, or an emphasis on the symbolism of God. So there are certainly different authors have different perspectives, just like you all might have different perspectives on lots of things. So the Bible is probably way more fun than you realized, than you knew, okay? And one of the things I wanted to bring